Couple things I'm interested in is one, little fart, black eyed.
There's the worst place.
A little black eyed peas and corporate drug use.
Corporate drug use, black eyed peas. How do rock stars and musicians and hip hop people stay fit on the road? I mean, you know what? I think if you're traveling a lot, you just gotta do what you can. You know, I was a trucker for a year. And it's like every time, you know, I think people give themselves way too many excuses to not go outside, just like walk or run for 30 minutes, you know, and I get that, you know, it's like you have to be consistent. It's like you have to go out there the days you don't want to go out there. But this is all, you know, sportsmen like, you know, were brought up playing sports on teams, and we got all this advice from parents and coaches, and it just got drilled into us. And I think, I don't think that's a thing anymore. I feel like, even engaging in sports now is becoming more of like a cost. I was talking to my aunt about that, my 8 and 12-year-old cousins, versus like, you know, it just costs so much money to have them do like basketball and all this stuff. And it's just like, you know, what happened to like recreational sports and clubs and
Yeah, you got to get, it's like you sign your kid up for the thing, it's like a traveling sports team, and then there's a league and there's competition, and you got to pay for all the uniforms and this and that. So I get it. It's like everything now became an industry.
Right.
You know, it's like it's such a, you know, it's hard just to kind of get involved with anything back compared to back in the day. You know, and now there's all these systems in place and whatnot.
Yeah, I mean, that's a good segue into drug culture and ayahuasca and how psychedelics has melded with not only like health and fitness in the sports world. And I just read a Wall Street Journal article about ayahuasca psychedelic therapists and coaches, and all these companies have these people now who are getting them to do these drugs and these retreats. And I'm very mixed about it, because I do think drugs are still ultimately a gateway to, you know, I think addictive things people can't really train or be ready for. At the same time, I do think there are a lot of benefits to, you know, medical marijuana and like all this stuff if you're using it appropriately. But most people don't have the education or the know-how or the community to do that.
Yeah, and then the regulations like out of control too. You know, so it's like I get it, and I think it feels like this is the next step with corporate psychedelics. Like I think it was coming at some point.
The
West Coast, we couldn't keep it out, but you know, as I mentioned to you before, is like, it seems like people are trying to speed run their mental health issues, and they just, you know, they want to be able to go through a drive-through, have a ketamine experience, their chakras are clear, they go back to partying and doing drugs, and you know, I don't think people are actually like willing to do the work. And I think you know, just like anything, it's like everything has to be instant. Amazon Prime, like, you know, from even skill building, just anything. I think if you are starting like an endeavor, I think you mentally now have to be like, it's going to take 2 or 3 years. Yeah.
I mean, how much of that is a part of the culture we've created the last couple of years, where it's gotten so high speed, so instant, so exploitative, this kind of hyper capitalistic world, and we're moving so fast, we should always be hustling and working just to kind of make even, to be at a place, the ideal life. You know, what is that anymore? What is the American dream anymore? You know, it's like, do we have to work and hustle all the time? And do you need all this stuff? You need the latest iPhone, you need the latest iPhone camera, you need to be this latest drink, this latest
Switch
food,
too.
You need the latest Switch, you need the latest ayahuasca, the latest, you know, whatever super drug Ozempic there is. And then juxtaposed to people able to be able to like detach from this and actually just be like, I'm just going to focus on one singular thing. I think we all struggle. I know I struggle with that as a maximalist person. At the same time, you're right. It's like it takes time to build skills and like to really become proficient at something.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is just getting crazier. I think, you know, just the way that the drug culture is, it's like it's not as like taboo now, and now it's like funny, because now it's like you have like parents that are like, oh, I did a little microdose, you know, before dinner tonight.
It's a cute thing
crazy.
to do now at your slumber party with the girls.
Yeah, and
they're putting some CBD and THC in the cookies for the girls in their sleepover. That's what the Stepford mom is doing now.
It's getting a little crazy. You know, the drug use, which I am like a proponent for it in like a controlled setting, because I think it does have a lot of like benefits. But
Aaron Rodgers.
I don't think people just have like a baseline knowledge of like what they're getting into. They more of like base it off of other people's experiences, and then they're like, oh, I need this too because it's gonna heal my trauma from when I was a kid, and I'm just gonna get that out of the way.
Right.
And it's very trendy.
You're right. It's like the trend of it, like speed running something. You can't really speed run health and fitness. This is the thing about Ozempic that they aren't really talking about. It's like people who are getting on this, they don't necessarily have the healthy habits to like sustain stuff. So then it's like, it's kind of like I won't say pick your poison, but it's like I would rather be the person who exercises. Like there's another mental component to that isn't even about the physical, juxtaposed to just taking Ozempic or taking a super pill or super drug, and I think you're giving off the appearance of being something that maybe essentially you're not.
Yeah, it is crazy too. Like the health and wellness industry is like get out of control. Like even with people like before they go out, they like order for the next morning like an IV drip sauna, and you're like, I'm gonna go black out and destroy my body, and then in the morning I'm in like a video game character and I'm gonna recharge and get all my vitamins and I get the drinks that bring me up and the drinks that bring me down, and drinks that level me out.
Right. Well, you're right. It's like it's an educational thing. I mean, at the end of the day, wouldn't it be it's like people still I think overlook just the basics, sleep, 8 to 10 hours, people and I feel like people don't always have the luxury, but also I think they do in a way. It's like you don't have to, some people do have to work these extreme jobs, but some people it's like, I don't know, I think we all get caught up in like, we have to be doing this thing, we have to live this fake Instagram, social media life, when in reality it's like sleeping 8 to 10 hours a day. You can still, I don't say you should eat junk food every day, but I mean, try not to do it every day. And then try to just stay hydrated and do some exercise. Even that just walking in the park for 30 minutes to an hour. I'm not saying you have to be David Goggins. You don't have to be doing this extreme thing,
It's too hard. People can't do that now, and I don't always blame people. I think it's also the way that America has been developed, where it's not the most walkable place, especially if you don't live in like a gentrified area. Sometimes it's like it's not the nicest places to walk. So it's like, or it's like there's a park near your house and it's in like direct sunlight. There's no trees, no shelter. So it's like, okay, there's a park there, but no one can use it because it's like, the sun.
But isn't that just people giving themselves excuses, even more excuses to not? There's always going to be something.
There's gonna be an excuse for everything.
Everything.
Yeah, until the end of time.
Yeah, and it's like, I don't know. I mean, healthcare is tough to get in the first place, and even within the healthcare system, there's a lot of like sketchy stuff within that overall. There's like always terrible it's terrible doctors and all this stuff everywhere. But I mean, I don't know. I do think that it's also it's not just physical. It's also like a mental thing. It's also a philosophical thing. I think people need to know what they're living for. Is it your own dream? Is it your family, your friends? Why are you living? Are you living to be healthy enough to travel and explore? To work on whatever you're passionate about.
I live to buy things.
Or is it, you're a slave to corporatism, slave to materialism.
There's always a new gadget I need to get. That's what I live for. There's a new video game, there's a new movie coming out.
New shirt, new fashion, new shoes.
I wear everything once and I throw it away.
A new truck, new Cybertruck, new everything, and all that stuff adds up. And it's like people on these payment plans now, and so much is just bullshit. You don't need anything. All I need is this, all right, a little bottle, a Gatorade bottle. All right, and I got it at 7-Eleven for free.
Stole it.
It came with, they were giving these out during summer last year. All right, how about that? Have nothing. Less is more.
Oh man.
That's what we're gonna do. Now feel that chill. It's getting hot, as you can tell.
We're back, baby.
We crossed that 10-minute mark exactly. That's when our brains go fuzzy.
Yeah, it gets a little crazy in here.
Yeah, but I mean, I do think that drug culture, microdosing, I think all of it still is. It's getting tricky now because now it's becoming more ubiquitous in the culture. Everyone's driven by like a CBD, a weed store, whatever now, and
well, I think
a lot of it's not really regulated, and you don't know what some of these companies are putting in these drugs. Like if you go to, it's the thing where it's like if you really show people what they're eating when they eat fast food, if you really revealed, unveiled the curtain and saw exactly what they were doing, I wonder how many people would still engage with to eat it,
Well, listen, if you're trying to feed how many, 380 million people, or globally 6 billion, it's like, it's not pretty. Like, there's like a pig and chicken and cow holocaust that happen every day.
Yeah.
Every single day.
Yeah.
And they're not,
now it's changed because the cost of it's so expensive just for fast food. Chick-fil-A and McDonald's, they've kind of pricing themselves out in a little bit, and it's not easy to just go get almonds and spinach, or like cook it yourself. And I don't know, I still think the 3 meals thing is a lie. I don't think people should be eating 3 meals a day.
Probably
I don't know who came up with that system anyway.
It does feel like
breakfast,
a little too
lunch,
much.
and dinner. Who invented that?
Unless you're like exercising, you're like an athlete, and burning them. But it does feel like it should be like 2.
Yeah, that's just another corporate thing they say.
2 and snacks.
Yeah. I mean, I wake up, I just do a coffee. I get my workout in. My biggest meal of the day is lunch, post workout. And then, if I'm still feeling it, doing night work, which I do a lot of, I'll eat again. But it's a massive Waffle House. Look, I love Waffle House more than anyone.
Oh, it's so good.
Look, I can burn calories more than anyone. I can get away with it. But I'm saying you're a person out there. I know who you are. If you're looking, you may need to look down to your stomach. If you have a fucking fat stomach, I'm talking to you. You need to stop going to Waffle House every other day.
It's genetics for them. They have kids. They got school. They got a job.
Always an excuse.
It's like it's a lot to traffic to get to the
mental
gym.
Health, everything going on.
A lot of mental health.
Trump,
the economy.
Musk, economy. The Democrats, the
tariffs. And tariffs prevent you. There's a lot of reasons not to go.
There's always something. So I don't know, but I do think that's where they want us. They want us to be drugged out. They want us to be hooked to these substances. They want you to be going to getting fast food and buying drugs and being hooked up to these phones all day, and they want you to have they want social media to siphon away so much of your attention and your energy.
I know. The bummer about just engineering and extreme consumerism is that I feel like we didn't get to experience some of the good engineering of like the 50s and 60s, where they those refrigerators at our grandparents that would last for like 9 decades, and then it's just in the backyard. It never stopped, and it just works perfectly.
Well, it goes back to like the microplastics thing. Remember, sodas always used to be in glass bottles. Drinks used to be more so in glass bottles, and then we got into this plastic thing.
Yeah, the glass was nice.
I
think it's cheaper, but it's like it doesn't make sense from a freight.
It's more
weight.
Sanitary or clean. They're transporting this stuff.
It's more weight, and then also they break a lot easier, that design. Yeah. But then we just created the most destructive thing ever.
And even now with fruits and vegetables and all that stuff is I go to Whole Foods. It's just jacked up, steroided out. I've never seen apples and oranges this big, the size of watermelon.
I know, and it's also
that's not organic.
Weird.
That's not natural.
Isn't it weird how there's seasons for fruit, but it's available at all times, all year? Yeah. I always think about that.
Yeah. But I feel like your biggest strategy, if you're really trying to get healthy, is just to do less. Do less.
Just eat less.
Eat less. Try to drink less, do drugs less, and then try to do a little bit more exercise. A little bit more. Meditation still is big. I'm getting back to it where it's do a daily meditation. I think we need to bring back self-encouragement and I don't want to be that, love yourself, positivity, but I do think we're in such a cynical, negative age. Social media is manifest into reality, and everyone's so negative. Everyone wants to be cynical as a shortcut to either look wise or to cope or to be over it. And people do need to try to encourage themselves, their friends. It's so easy to snap at people.
Yeah, people make a mistake that just destroy them. But I do disagree with what you said. I think it's important to wake up with a scroll.
Yeah,
first.
That's right. Get hit.
I need to know what news.
You want Vision Pro VR as soon as you.
I need that Gaza war footage. I need the Ukraine drone attacks.
I need the camera on the drone as soon as I wake up. I want to be in the drone's bird's eye point of view and crash right. I want to explode as soon as I wake up.
Just before I even text my mom, good morning,
Gnarly, it's crazy. Woo. Crazy. So, but I do think, the future, it's I do think people, it's human beings collectively, we're trying to always figure things out, and you have to do what's best for you. you make these decisions. It gets more philosophical. What kind of life do you want to live? Are you okay with shortcutting your life for, you know, in sacrifice of, you know, you're working more hours of a money amount or a dream or something? You know, you all have to make these decisions in life at some point. No pain, no gain. You know, if you want to run a marathon, you want to run an ultra marathon, it's going to hurt. You know, it's not going to be some happy-go-lucky, you know, I'm looking at Zendaya and Tom Holland eat cupcakes at Disneyland.
At the Met Gala.
Yeah, the Met Gala. It's not now. It's like, I think people need to understand that, you know, there is a reward to doing difficult things, but it's like a purpose thing. Like, what's the point of being alive now? It's like, it's so difficult to have a family, the kids, a house, all that stuff, and we're just trying to figure things out.
Oh!
So, you know,
Steam
these things happen. Yeah, these things happen.
Fighting for our life. Still trying to figure out how we're gonna get guests in here.
You feel that? You feel that? I know he feels that. We're gonna get guests in here. We're gonna fan them down. You know, it may get brain fried at the end. You know.
We're Mach 10 right now, ladies and gentlemen.
It's been,
I think I'm cooked.
16 minutes.
All right, I'm tapping out. I can't put any coherent thoughts together.
He's fried. This is what happens. Your brain fries, people. But we do what we can.
We'll be
back. Try to stay as sharp as you can.
We're gonna get better and better. I'm gonna keep figuring this thing out. All right, I'm the one that taps out everyone. We're gonna cut it out. We got a neighbor knocking next door.
Someone's knocking.
We got someone knocking.
The vent. I'm opening the vent.
We got open the vent.